You're on.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is Sam Callahan here with a little gear shakedown video. I've done a lot of podcasts and videos based on what I think people want to hear. I asked the question out to Instagram and Facebook, what do you guys want to hear? I hear a lot of people asking, how do I get into competition? What gear do I need to get started? I'm not one to bully people into certain guns or divisions, but I could guide you into the gear needed, kind of get started without wasting too much time, without wasting too much energy. What we're going to start with here is I'm a competitive shooter, so we're going to talk from that side of things. We're going to look at a belt here that I use from Ghost Holsters that's good for pretty much all four divisions that I shoot, into PCC, into open division. We're going to get to some two-gun stuff, some PCSL stuff. I'll even consider this somewhat of a duty rig, so we'll talk about it. But before we get into some of the more technical details about the belt and stuff, two of the mainstays you're always going to see in my belt that aren't anything to do with the competition stuff itself. It's more the training side of things. I always have this dry fire mag in here when I'm not at matches. Even at matches, this will be the first thing. I'll go to the safe table, throw this in my gun, get a couple trigger presses, get some starting, I don't know, some warm-up, I'll call it. But this is always in my gear just because I think it's one of the better things for us striker fire guys to be able to dry fire with, but throw that to the side. The other thing you're always going to find on me is my shooter's global timer. I like the smart timer. It's better for me. I get a lot more data out of it, especially for personal training and private training others. I get a lot more data out of this. That said, the Go timer, the louder, smaller, boxier timer is what I use to run my matches. Perfectly good timer. As long as you have the app integrated, you have all the same features. It's pretty cool. So take that, throw it to the side. We'll get into the actual competition side of things. That's more the training side of things. This is, hey, what do I need to do to go shoot a match tomorrow? So I mentioned Ghost Holsters. This is what I want to go over first. This is the Ghost Holsters Hydra P rig. They just released the new Hydra D rig. It's got a nicer drop down, nicer holster setup, but same exact concept as it's sitting here in front of you. What's nice about Ghost is you buy one Hydra P rig, you get everything in front of you. I added a mag pouch, but you get everything in front of you. You don't need to piece a whole system together like a lot of other companies out there where you buy a belt and then an upgrade and then a this and then a that, and then all of a sudden you're $800 in and you didn't know what happened. This is a very quick, easy buy. It's more accessible than most, and it'll suit, like I mentioned, 4 divisions for me. So first division, I normally shoot carry optics, limited optics. I also shoot limited and production with this rig, so I don't need to change anything in its current configuration to shoot all of those legally. It's kind of nice. All I have to do is throw this nice pouch on the front and I can shoot PCC, so we'll consider it 5 divisions. If I wanted to shoot open, I'll switch this holster out. This is the Hydra P, as I called it. I'll go and get the Ghost 1 holster, which is the open holster. I'll slap it on here and all of a sudden I have an open holster. I don't have to change the configuration. All of my muscle memory sticks. Now, I found Ghost Holsters about a decade ago. I'm very proud to be on the Ghost Holsters team now, but that only happened in the last year or so. I had been shooting these 360 pouches for approximately a decade before they even knew I existed. Reason being, they have some of the better retention in the game. I can run around and not lose mag pouches while still having really fast access to mags. Now, I added this magnet up front, which is legal for most divisions in IPSC and USPSA, I'm sorry. Just for empty unloaded starts. I normally don't use this unless we're starting off tables and things like that. But another reason I really like this, they have quick on-off clips so that you can really quickly move these things around for people who travel, who want to remove things for certain divisions, who want to move things around. This clip is also over here, so you can very easily move around your holsters and change things around, which is nice. One of the cool things about this holster is it's got active retention as it sits in this current position. I flip it off like that, and now it's just a normal bucket holster. It's one of the fastest holsters I've ever used. You can see some videos I put up previously and some videos on my draw. I can consistently hit 0.8 and sub 0.8 alphas with this holster, even in major matches. I've done that a couple of times. So I really am all about this. Now, I'm a efficiency guy, so what's cool about this is I can add mag pouches if I was going to shoot production division. This is legal in IPSC as well, so I can go and shoot IPSC and Worlds matches with this. This is one of the better belts I have found too for its rigidity. I normally have a belt keeper back on here. I had taken it off. I placed it to the side. But right here, boom, you're running. You're off and running. The one addition I mentioned, as it sits over here, this is the 360 pouch for the PCC mag. So obviously my normal magazines sit about here. This allows it to sit a lot deeper. So if I had a nice 30, 40 round mag as I normally run, boom, there you go. Now I run Glock everything, including my PCC. So typically I just run Glock magazines. I run Taylor Freelance base pads, sometimes TTI base pads, but this would just be where my 30 rounder sits right here in the front of my belt here. Whenever I'm doing my kind of manipulations for PCC, I'll take this off, I'll take this stuff off, I'll leave this one with the magnets on right here, and boom, I have a PCC belt all of a sudden. So I'm not trying to sell anybody on Ghost because I make any salary or anything off of it. I'm trying to sell people on Ghost because I myself am a efficiency-based person, and if you shoot this sport, I don't want to buy a bunch of things and worry about a bunch of different things and splitting up my time and resources. This is all I need to shoot multiple different divisions. One extra holster, one extra mag pouch. I have 6 divisions in one for one single belt. Now, this is all well and good. I wanted to take a step back into the past a little bit and show everybody my old 2-gun rig. So when I was starting in the sport, I started in 3-gun. I didn't start in USPSA. I started shooting with 3-Gun Nation probably around 2014, 2016. We were shooting all over the country, and this is what we learned to do. We learned to make do with what was out there. We took a Safari Land belt. We kind of customized where we would like to put things, stagger things, cut things, do what we wanted to do. One of the big things that we like to do back in the day, which is pretty much a commonplace now, I can actually credit one of my friends, Glenn. Glenn Papp has a video out on YouTube that's like a grainy old video from like 2014 of when we used to modify the belts, grab an old Burton binding from a snowboard shop and do this all ourselves. But I want to talk about this because this is really all you need, some crappy old belt if you want to get started in 2-gun or 1-gun. It doesn't really matter. You don't need anything fancy. This works. This just happens to be a nice little retention holster that has a grip lock retention system here for when I'm shooting 2-gun in case I wanted to reholster my pistol on the fly. As I mentioned, I would rather have my Ghost rig. I'd rather use that for all things 1-gun, 2-gun. But I always keep this old ratty rig around because it's kind of like reminds me where I come from. And in case anybody needs to borrow a rig or throw anything in, this holster fits most guns. It's a Glock holster, I believe, but it fits pretty much any plastic striker fire gun. But I'd just like to talk about, hey, you don't need anything fancy. Really what you just need is something repeatable, something that works for you. It doesn't need to be crazy. It doesn't need to be nice, but I like the buy once, cry once attitude. I don't want to go all over the place. I don't want to experiment and have to put it together. I'm not a mechanic. I'm a race car driver in my mind, so I want to just be able to buy something that I could race right off the belt. Boom. Hydra P rig. This is what I would recommend for most shooters. You don't need anything fancier than this. Even if you're a range shooter, even if you just want to shoot IDPA, if you want to shoot anything basic, this is what I call my range rig, my training rig. If I want to train efficiently, even if I'm never going to shoot USPSA, I want to get better efficiently. This allows me to get better efficiently. I don't want to try to take like a Toyota Prius out in the track and learn how to drive it fast. I want to learn how to drive a race car and then go home and translate that back into my daily driver. So I recommend getting one of these, even if you're just a basic shooter. Get yourself set up for something that'll take all the other things out of your way, remove all other variables, be able to go fast, and then be able to translate backwards. So I hope this helps a couple people make some gear decisions. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, I love talking about this kinds of stuff. I don't want to sit here and assume all the things you guys are going to do, but if you got questions, go ahead and ask below. Thank you for listening, and as always, don't forget to dry fire.